Hi, I'm Gloria, and I'm back for week 5 of applying a growth mindset to Valorant. It was so nice to be caught up with my editing this week because my attention wasn't split between multiple things and I was really able to focus on my current week. Also, this week I decided to focus on one map to study, to practice my entry pathing on, and to VOD review, and I found this focus pretty helpful. I chose Fracture because I struggled a lot on the map and I had no plans for entering site, for post-plat, for retake, nothing. The only thing I like to do on Fracture was just like peek A main and peek B main as Jet on defense, and I also learned why that's not the best idea. This week I spent about 18 hours training for Valorant and I also ranked up back to Plat 1. Jumping into the week now. On Monday, I learned that I get really tilted when my teammates don't smoke properly, but doing 10 minutes of a guided yoga nidra meditation helped me reset my mental to play level-headed for the rest of my comp games that day. I played Bind twice, and it felt like I understood the angles way better than any other map. At my current rank, retaking B-site feels so straightforward to me. I feel like I have the highest success rate retaking B-site, and I just love holding defense on A-site on this map. So this is probably why this is my highest win rate map. Reflecting on my strengths on Bind gave me some hope to learning other maps that I really struggle with, like Abyss, Lotus, Fracture. On Monday, I also noticed that my wrist tension loosened up more naturally for the first time while aim training. I noticed I was using more pressure on my forearm without having to think about it too much. I was pretty excited about this because it took my full attention in the previous week to think about how to use my wrist and forearm tension intentionally. So yeah, progress. On Tuesday, I started my Fracture learning journey. I spent about 2 hours studying the map by watching Charlatan's Jet Fracture guide and a few YouTube videos. I actually only got the Charlatan's defense guide, so my attack still lacked a proper plan for entry and post-plant. I spent about 30 minutes in a custom game roaming around the map and practicing holding angles. I feel like this sounds so silly, but this really helps cement things into my brain. Right after I studied the map, I warmed up and then queued into comp, and guess what game I got? Literally Fracture. I feel like the game rewards you when you go into custom games, but don't quote me on this, just happened to happen this time. I wanted to play controller since it was my first game on, but someone insta-locked Clove, so I locked in Jet. I was nervous but also excited because I had just watched Charlatan's Jet guide, so it was honestly perfect. Fracture was seriously my worst map, but I ended up match MVPing this game and I was so stoked about it. A few plans that worked that I had just learned: holding this angle for info and backing up into this edge angle to take a fight. I honestly didn't need to queue my dash here, but I queued it because I'd never done this before and I easily got a kill and was able to jump off. Another plan I learned that almost worked was to take Arcade on Eco Round and push the smoke to surprise the enemies here, obviously depending on the situation. I looked really confused here because I thought the Sky was dogging and that I had got timing, but Sky was actually not here. I think she was Canteen. Anyways, I still got a decent timing, but I freaking whiffed my shots on this Jet. I even headshot her with the ghost. On Wednesday, I started learning about how to play attack on Fracture, but then things happened really quickly and I had an unexpected job interview scheduled the next day. I spent most of the day preparing for the interview and then forced a few comp games in to stay consistent that day. Nothing too eventful except I threw a round that was really hard for me to forget until I had to edit this video again. I regret not being more confident in taking this fight. I also regret not coming to my teammate to retake together. It was literally a 3v1 and we threw this round so hard. On Thursday, I spent most of the day prepping for the job interview and was just mentally tired by the time I got to play Valorant. I don't even have notes written down for this day, but I saved a few clips that were pretty fun. I was streaming this pro game to Tam, and after whiffing this shot on Reyna, he told me to smoke the choke and then go to Jen. This was a genius idea because the enemies had no idea I was there, and my teammates were putting enough pressure that I got 3 kills off of his call.
Okay.
You're welcome, babe.
I see why you have
Dude,
more
just jump
kills
over the
than
box.
us.
Jump over the box and kill
You're
him.
the greatest.
Actually, I got a 4th kill because Tan told me to just jump over this box to kill the Tejo, so I followed his instructions and killed him. If only I could think like this for myself, but you know what? One day I will be able to. My team was also so nice to me this game. I feel like my confidence was higher because of it. This last round was pretty funny because my molly missed and then the Clove ran out without even looking at me. Who does that? On Friday, I watched Charlatan's Jet Fracture Guide for Attack and practiced entering on all 4 sides of the map. I'm pretty excited for the next time I can play Jet on Fracture to try out all of the new things that I learned. I still need to practice running around this map with like good crosshair placement because it gets pretty sloppy at times. On Saturday, I decided to VOD review that Fracture game that I MVP'd on Tuesday. And dude, oh my god, I was like, I did not deserve that MVP. I'm so glad I VOD reviewed it because I made so many mistakes. So here were some of the observations that I made about my gameplay. Observation number 1, when my team isn't making calls or we're not rushing site together, I tend to play like really indecisively. One solution for this is to create an objective for myself every attack round, and I can just ask my teammates to help me if it feels like we're not coordinating well. Observation number 2, just be aware that an enemy can open this door and shoot me at any moment. I didn't need to hold the smoke, and also I should have just been more aware of my teammates' position at this point. They were leaving and I was staying. Very obvious. Observation number 3, I'm so indecisive on post plant if I don't have a plan. I think I brought this up in every video so far. In this clip, I literally just exposed myself to 2 angles and ended up dying for it. I was confused because I had to reposition myself to get the gun that Taeho dropped me. I should have just gone for it immediately and jiggle peeked this to put pressure on the enemies who had to cross. Also, if I'm rotating and late to sight, I need to check my teammates' positioning and decide where to position myself. In this clip, instead of peeking this angle and giving a 1v1 or potentially a 1v2 to Jen, I could have positioned myself closer to the right side of the wall or like farther back so that Cypher could actually trade me when the enemies were forced to push to site. I threw here by giving up our numbers advantage by doing exactly what the enemies wanted me to do. Kind of related to the last point, the 4th observation from this game and actually all of my games is that I don't really know like when to swing or hold an angle. I talked about this with Tam and we decided that for now I should just have some sort of plan. Like if there's one person, then I'll swing them, and if there's more than one person, then I'll hold the angle. Observation number 5, I get confused when the enemy has a Cypher. I tend to freeze up on attack and don't really know how to lead my team onto site. Like, I understand the concept of updraft, smoke, dash, but I have to do that with the help of my teammates, otherwise I'll just be on site by myself. But regardless of that point, in this clip, I actually forgot there was a second trip and dashed into the Cypher trip. Thankfully, my Yoru was here and killed the Cypher, who would have killed me in an instant. There's a lot of work I can put in to prepare myself against Cyphers, so I will give that some thought another day. And lastly, observation number 6 is that I get confused planting the bomb on B site. I died twice trying to plant the freaking bomb. I could have done a million things differently here, but most importantly, I shouldn't have been first contact while trying to plant the bomb. I should have either faked the plant like one more time or repositioned myself to plant, or just honestly just like communicated with my Taeho. I added all these problems to my problem spreadsheet that I said I would create last week. I don't like how it's currently structured, but hey, at least I started it. Okay, cool. Now a quick recap of week 5. What went well? Focusing on Fracture, one map was so helpful. I created a brief outline of how to play Fracture on attack and defense, and I was able to reference that outline while I played, so that was helpful. My aim felt the most consistent this week. I think aim training for 20 minutes a day somewhat consistently for 5 weeks has like really made a difference for me. 10 minutes of yoga nidra after 2 comp games was extremely helpful. I already mentioned this, but it also went well this week. What didn't go well? I didn't spend time training my movement, and I didn't spend a lot of time practicing gunfights and deathmatch, and I feel like I really felt that this week. I also didn't do much VOD reviewing because I only played 1 Fracture game, so I guess I'll reconsider that in the future if I want to VOD review other games that aren't part of the map that I'm focusing on for the week. And how can I improve for next week? I want to spend more focused time trying to improve my movement and do 10 deathmatches a day. Maybe. We'll see. Yay! We made it to the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for your comments and support. I hope you have a productive week with very nice teammates. Okay, bye!